So, I'm here with my dad today, Manuel Villasuso, and I think he's had a pretty interesting life, and we're just gonna kind of dive in and talk about it. Does that sound good?
Sounds good. She makes an interesting life ahead from now.
Yes, interesting life so far.
Both ways.
I'm sure you've got some interesting things coming up in the future too. You still have an interesting life.
Yeah.
You do a lot of fun and interesting things.
This is not one of those, but
I think it is. That's your opinion. So can you describe the house that you grew up in Cienfuegos, Cuba?
yeah, it was a 2-bedroom house, one level, and an inside bathroom, and the kitchen. It wasn't too big, but it was both the kitchen and the dining room, and then I'm coming from the back toward the front. It was the kitchen, dining room. After that, it was the bathroom. And then after that, it was the master bedroom, where it was where my father and mother slept. And then next to that, it was the next bedroom, which it was first it was for my brother and me, and then when my sister was born, somehow my parents moved their own bed and put over there a bed for my sister. So eventually, in the master bedroom, it was my parents and my sister, and then in the next room, it was my brother and me, and then after that, it was the living room, and then just passing that, it would be the front porch, which it was reasonably wide and reasonably I don't know, large and wide.
Yeah.
So
So a nice big front porch.
yeah, and there was something that it was built later on, which actually wasn't finished. They were the intention was to build up 2 or 3 more bedrooms above what it would be the living room and the porch, but that never got to be finished because that was when they took my father's business, and then that was left unfinished.
Wow, so had you guys started on that construction project?
It was started, but it was never finished.
Oh, wow.
They were just
Okay.
what it is what it was my brother and mine's bedroom. When it was just me, that was actually the living room.
Okay.
There was only the house started with just 1 bedroom, but
Okay.
once my brother was born, they started building what it became what it used to be the living room eventually became a bedroom, and then they built
Okay.
another living room next to it,
Okay.
and
Okay.
and then a porch, and
Okay.
then their intention was to build something above what it was the new living room and the front porch.
Okay. So they were able to add some.
Well, yeah,
additions on
the
house,
new
but-
living room and the
Yeah.
front porch, it was added.
Okay,
Yeah, that was
okay.
added.
Well, that's good that they were able to do that. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate they weren't able to finish the next construction
Yeah.
project. So, what was your family like when you grew up? Who all lived in the house with you?
My parents were mean, very, very mean. No. They were good. I mean, but my father had her own business, which it was actually out in our backyard. So my father and his brother, they both were partners in the business. It was a lumber yard, so they didn't have to, to go anywhere to go to work. You just basically, got up and the business was right there.
Yeah. So you guys had a pretty big piece of land with like
Yeah,
sawmills and all the
it was,
equipment and everything.
It was one whole block long, and then it was maybe a fifth of a block wide.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it was a big backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where the business was.
Yeah. So what kind of work did both of your parents do, and how did that affect daily life?
It was lumber yard, and they basically the wood that they bought it was already cut to some extent, but they would cut it into smaller pieces. They would make like 4x4s, and it was some kind of thinner. I don't know. It would be maybe half by 6 and half by 8 maybe, planks that were used usually for walls.
Okay.
And then they would cut some wood too for prepare some wood too, like for building doors and frames and things like that.
Okay, so they were processing lumber to make it usable for construction.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay.
yeah.
What kind of food did your family eat regularly?
Junk food. We initiated that. Nobody bought junk food in my city, by the way. Well, it was the typical. Disregard that. It was typical Cuban food with a little bit of the influence from Spain. We ate quite often, the typical type of food that is white rice, and then it would be either sometimes it would be black beans, sometimes it would be red beans, sometimes it would be navy beans. Other times it was what's the other one? Garbanzo type of chickpeas. That's what they call it. Yeah, sometimes it would be chickpeas.
Yeah.
And then usually there would be either the steak or the chicken. Quite often there was fish, and then for meals we didn't eat too much ham, but sometimes there was pork, but not necessarily ham. And because my father and his brother, they were from Spain, sometimes we would have sardines, which usually would be the ones packed in olive oil.
Okay, in the little cans.
And the little cans, yeah. And other times, usually when there would be sardines, there would be like boiled potatoes, and they were sliced, and then sometimes they would put like olive oil over them and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who did the cooking at home?
My mom did the cooking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what were meals like in your home? Did you all eat together?
Yes, we all ate together. For lunch, we were always eating together. However, because my uncle, he was single, usually he wouldn't eat in our house. He would have breakfast. Actually, he would have breakfast in a coffee shop that it was about a block from where we live. For some reason, I don't know. I'm sure my mom wouldn't mind fixing breakfast for him, but because his room was separate, it was in another part actually it was completely outside. It was in part of the yard. He probably will get up whenever he would get up, and he didn't necessarily follow our schedule. So he would get up and then we'd go, walk one block and have breakfast. And when I got older, I sometimes went with him to have breakfast over there.
Okay.
So, but he would have breakfast. But he would have lunch with us, and then usually for dinner, after the work was done, he would take a shower and then usually would dress up and go downtown. He would usually would eat supper somewhere, in the downtown area.
Okay, so he ate out a lot.
Well, he did that every day.
Yeah?
So, yeah.
Wow, okay. So what kinds of clothes did you wear as a kid?
I don't know. I don't think at that time jeans were popular in Cuba, but we usually would be wearing khakis.
Mm-hmm.
And then, usually would be short sleeve shirts. And sometimes it would be a t-shirt. And if it was something like, I don't know, going to church or a birthday or something like that, we usually would dress up, nicely, and then we'd go. It wasn't a suit and tie type of thing. It would be usually, like a nice shirt and a nice pair of pants and some shoes. So.
Okay. Did your mom make any of your clothes growing up?
My mom made some of the clothes, but not many. Usually our clothes were bought. But she has a sewing machine, and she knew how to fix things, but she didn't make too many of our clothes. At one point she did, one time or another, but no, typically we bought our clothes.
Okay. Were clothes and shoes pretty easy to come by?
Yeah,
Yeah?
Before the Castro's government, yeah, it was easy to get the clothes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. But you don't think it's as easy anymore?
So what?
Do you think it's still easy to find clothes and shoes there and supplies that are needed?
Nowadays?
Yeah?
No,
No, not anymore.
not anymore.
It's very different today than
Yeah,
it was.
it's very different.
Yeah. So what did you do for fun as a kid in Cienfuegos?
We usually ride our bikes. That was one thing that we used to do. We only had one bike, but we shared the bike. And then later on, we got some roller skates. Here again, it was only one pair, so we usually would, trade
Okay.
with the roller skates and the bicycle. And since baseball is very popular in Cuba, we both, my brother and me, had gloves and bats and balls, and then because the backyard was fairly big, we usually would play in the backyard, because remember, like I said, it was one block long, so.
Yeah. So what were some of the holidays or festivals that you looked forward to?
It was Christmas. We didn't have Thanksgiving, but there was Christmas. And then it was celebrated on the 24th.
Okay.
And then there were some families who actually, they had, they celebrated Christmas like here in the United States, and for some families, the 25th was when Santa Claus came and got the presents for the kids and all that. But most people would do it where the 6th of January is, I don't know how they call it. It was the three kings who would bring the presents for the kids.
Yeah.
That was the two main ones that I know. And I think another holiday was the 1st of May. I think it was the day of the, I don't know how they call it. Which one is the holiday over here that is for the workers?
Labor Day?
That would be like Labor Day, yeah.